Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yes, Shivam.
Prabhuji, one may say that every life has its ups and downs, and why we receive the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we deal with this up and downs and have fun in life. Have fun in life. So how can we convince these type of people?
Okay, that somebody may ask this question that in our life there are so many up and downs come and go. So why do we need the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita? Huh? So the point
Yes,
is,
Prabhuji.
the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. First of all, any knowledge, just like yesterday I was explaining, the sign of having knowledge, a sign of intelligence, is to make things more clear, more comfortable, more easy, more simple, so that we can become more peaceful. So that is the sign of knowledge. That is the means you can say uh, significance to have proper knowledge. So everyone, whether up and downs, is there, but everyone wants that our life should go on smoothly. Nobody wants that we get the trouble. Tell me, who in the entire creation would like to have distress in their life, would like to have unhappiness, unpeaceful disturbances of the mind?
But
Anyone who would like to have these things?
Prabhuji, they will say that Prabhuji, but they
Yes.
will say devotees also has the problems.
Yeah, I'm coming to that point, but the main point what I'm discussing, nobody wants disturbances and unhappiness in their life. So if the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita can help us to reduce such disturbances, just like suppose if you are driving some vehicle or bike. Earlier means earlier bike use means there was no shock absorbers, so it was so painful to travel on Indian roads in the bike, especially those early days motorcycles. But now afterwards,
Hmm.
so many different advanced technologies were invented, and shock
Hmm.
observers and so many different kinds of things were added, and the journey in the vehicle became more smooth and more comfortable. But still because roads are up and down, so many up and downs are there on the road, so still there will be some problems. But just compare, if you are traveling on the same road with two different kinds of vehicle, a vehicle which doesn't have shock observer, and a vehicle which has proper technological elements which can observe the shock, which can make your means the seats are very comfortable. So which vehicle would you like to drive, the first one or second one? Yes.
Shock of shock observer.
First one,
Shock
second one, na, which is more, which has more technologically advanced elements and functionalities. Why?
yes,
Because even though the
yes,
road is same, many up and downs will come on the road. But if one drives or one travels in a very this the second type of vehicle, which is more comfortable, so then the life becomes more smooth. Means journey become more smooth, although the up and downs will come. Similarly, there may be two kinds of people: a person who does not want to have knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Without the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, he simply wants to live life according to his own experience. So that is like traveling in a up and down road with a vehicle having no shock observers, with a vehicle, a motorcycle, having no so much technologically advanced functionalities. So it will give more pain, and it will be more troubling to us, isn't it? But if a person accepts the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then his life becomes like the second one. He has a vehicle which is more technologically advanced, and more is means shock observers are there, and more comfortable seats are there. So he can, even though he will be traveling on the up and down road, but his journey will be more smooth. Similarly, a devotee, although up and downs comes in his life, but because he has proper knowledge, so he can overcome those up and downs. He will not get affected with those up and downs. Up and downs will, difficulties will come in his life, but because he has learned how to deal with these difficulties, so he can very easily cross over. You understood the point? Because this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, what is the
Yes.
significance of this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita? Knowledge of Bhagavad Gita help us to identify the problem, root cause of the problem. Knowledge of Bhagavad Gita gives us the direction, control our mind, how to properly direct the intelligence, how to drive away the negativity from the heart. So in this way, we, even though the difficulties may be there, but the person can very nicely execute. Okay, isn't it? This is the one point. Okay, but there
Yes,
is
Prabhuji.
one another reason I would like to mention. This is about regarding this life. Even in this life, to live in this life also, if we have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we can so nicely and smoothly lead our life, even though difficulties will be coming in our life. But the second point is that what after death? A person who is no knowledge of about Gita, so there is no question of his having anything auspicious after death. But a person, because Bhagavad Gita so nicely in detail it explains what is the goal of life, what happens after death. This life is not at all, means all in all. This life is not all in all. There is something more beyond this life. So this is important. Just like once, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, he was preaching in some of the Western countries, European countries. So a reporter, he asked that Swamiji, you are focusing so much upon the knowledge of Gita, you are focusing so much upon chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Suppose if at the end of your life you come to know that there is no Lord, there is no God, there is no Krishna, so what will happen to you? Your entire life is then waste. Then Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, he said that even if at the last, actually this is not a fact, God is there and Lord Krishna is there, but even if you think at the end of my life, if I come to know that there is no God, but still what is the harm? Entire life, by following the principles of Bhagavad Gita, entire life I am leading a peaceful and happy life. So what is the problem in it? But suppose he counter asked the question. Yeah, he counteracted the questions. He asked the reporter that suppose at the end of your life you come to know that there is God. You come to know that there is God, then what will happen to you? Because you have led your entire life without knowledge of God. So if at the end of your life you come to know that there is God, there is law of karma, there is next birth, then what will happen to you? Isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Shivam? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anyone else has any questions?
Prabhuji, how to overcome some depression?
How to overcome?
As we see
Sorry?
depressions. Hello,
Huh? Speak loudly. Come more
Prabhuji.
closer to microphone.
Hello,
Depression.
Yes, Nikhil.
Prabhuji. How to overcome depression? Because we see in our day-to-day life there are many people who are affected by depressions by staying at home. So, Prabhuji, what we have to do so the depression will not come?
Yes. So first of all, you have to understand why the depression comes. What is the root cause of having depression? Because most of the people, like we hear, so many people get disturbed, they get depressed, and many of them commit suicide. It's not that only a person who is having no food to eat, he is committing suicide. No, rather, more than 90% of the people who are committing suicide, they are well situated. They have all the facilities. They have lots of money. They have a place to live. They have a well situated career, everything. But then why they commit suicide? What is the reason? Let us analyze on this. Why this depression comes? Can anyone tell what is the root cause of getting depression in our life?
Expectation. Hello, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Guruji,
Yes, Nikhil.
Guruji, I think depression come because of higher expectations from others or
Yeah,
whatever
okay.
the things.
Okay, very nice. This is one reason. Depression comes why? Because of having not higher expectation, because of having greed, too much greed. So this greed is one of the negativity within the heart, and this is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, and it is known as, it is called as anartha. Anartha means something which is unwanted. So this is one of the reason. What else can anybody say? What else is the
Also,
reason?
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
lack of
Lack
knowledge
of
also,
हाँ
Prabhuji.
प्रभु lack of knowledge.
lack
Knowledge.
of knowledge. Very nice. This is very important, because if somebody is in ignorance, then automatically, if somebody does not know what is the real goal of life, how does this mind functions, and all the, say, the different circumstances, then naturally the fear arises, the fear to lose which you have, and the anxiety to have something which you don't have. There is lamentation, and then there is hankering. These two things, this is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Sochati means lamentation, and kankshati means hankering. So these two things, one laments for things which he could not achieve in his life, for things which he has lost after achieving, and one hankers for things which he wants to achieve in his life, or one hankers for things which he sees other person has achieved in his life. So this is because of envy. So these two things becomes the cause of our depression in our life. I hope you are able to get this point. So, till the time we have these two things, lamentation and hankering, so this depression will be there. And when these two things increases, then ultimately person becomes so much frustrated that he is ultimately commits suicide. That is why this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is so much important, to come out of this negativity and all this lamentation, this hankering, and this anarthas which I told you. So these are all negativities present within the heart: greed, envy, anger, lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, madness. These are all called as anarthas, which are present within the mind, and these are known as impurities. So if you want to counteract depression, simply by eating some medicine to counteract depression, you cannot overcome it. You may, like medical science has researched that certain kinds of hormones are released, and that becomes the cause of depression. So you stop those hormones to release, then depression will go away, and you start taking the medicine to stop the release of that kind of hormones, particular type of hormones, so that you become free from depression. No, that does not happen. The hormones which are releasing from the body, that is not the cause of depression. That is another symptom. Just like, suppose if you get affected with something virus or some bacteria, so this fever is the symptom of that viral fever, virus or some bacteria. This is not the cause of your suffering. You are suffering because of fever, that's correct. You are suffering, you are having pain, you are not you are uncomfortable because of this fever, because of this headache. But this headache and this fever is not the cause of your suffering. This headache and fever is symptoms of the presence of viruses within the body. So similarly, this release of hormones is not the cause of depression, which is means nowadays researched by many scientists, but rather this release of hormones within the body. These are the symptoms of having some viruses within our system. What are those viruses? These anarthas are viruses which are present within the mind, and these viruses are unlimited in numbers. And we have to find out some process, just like to counteract the disease, viral fever. We need to actually destroy, or we need to kill those viruses present within our body. Then if the viruses are killed, bacteria are killed with proper treatment, then automatically all this fever and headache will go away. Similarly, if we can cure this, if we can kill this virus is present within our mind, in our system, then automatically these depressions will go away. Simply if we look for external solutions, that will not work, because the root cause is within. I'll give another example. Suppose sometimes, especially during rainy season, body gets more heat sometimes due to change in the weather. So we find many boils on our skin. Boils means that, I hope you are able to understand. Boils, there are different boils start coming out of from our skin. So those boils, why they are coming out? It is because of impurity present within the blood. If you just go to a nurse and get it operated where the boil is present on the skin, so the boil will go away from that particular part of the skin, but it will again come out from other part of the body. It will not get eradicated completely, because you have not treated it at the root. The root cause of this boil is not something external. It is not a skin disease, but the root cause is impurities present within the blood. So how can you cure it nicely? You purify your blood. So the doctor will give you injection, a purifier. It will purify the blood, and then automatically all these boils will go away. Similarly, the problem is within the mind. The problem is with because of these viruses, these impurities present within the mind, and because of this, not only depression, but all kinds of negativity. Depression is one of the thing, but apart from this, increase of lust, increase of greed, and criminal mentality, envy, anger, intolerance, all these different kinds of problems arises due to this. Lack of patience, lack of confidence, discouragement, all these things are arising due to this presence of these impurities. So we have to work at those impurities. So the purifier is what we have already discussed, this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all impurities get purified. And along with this, we have to sharpen our intelligence also, so that if the intelligence is sharpened, then mind will not overcome us. And even if the mind tries to overcome, because till the time the mind is getting purified, we have to keep us encouraged to take the medicine along with it. And for that, we need to have our strong conviction and strong knowledge, sharp intelligence, so that we can counteract the mind and keep on chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, keep on purifying the mind. So for sharpening the intelligence, we need the knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita. So if you regularly attend, you regularly get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then automatically you will be inspired enough, and you will have the practical guidance how to deal with this mind, along with the purification of mind through the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, does this answer your question, Nikhil?
जी प्रभु जी हेलो
Okay. Yes, anyone else has any question? Anyone else would like to ask anything, whatever? Then otherwise we'll go ahead. Yes, Sandeep.
हरे कृष्ण गुरु जी।
Hare Krishna.
गुरु जी मतलब अभी जो मेरे दोस्तों ने 2 पॉइंट बोले, मतलब जो लक्ष्य होता है उससे ज्यादा सोचना और लैक ऑफ नॉलेज का मतलब डिप्रेशन कारण होता है।
हाँ,
तो मतलब अभी थोड़े दिन पहले मतलब सुशांत सिंह राजपूत से पहले एक 300 करोड़ का मतलब ओनर था, और उसने सुसाइड किया था डिप्रेशन के कारण।
yes.
उसके पास गुरुजी उसके पास नॉलेज होगी और तभी तो करोड़पति बना, और उसका कोई एम नहीं था कि और ज्यादा कुछ बड़ा बनना है, फिर भी उसने सुसाइड कर लिया।
Yes.
क्योंकि 300 करोड़ की
The
उसने
knowledge which, yes. So the knowledge. So what is the question?
मैं यही कह रहा था गुरुजी, क्या इनसे भी हटके कोई और पॉइंट हो सकता है क्या?
इससे भी हटके?
इन दोनों पॉइंटों से हटके भी कोई पॉइंट हो सकता है क्या?
Yes, definitely. तो वो जो आपने बताया, the owner of a big company having 300 crores rupees, so he must have knowledge. That is why he built so much business. But actually, the lack of knowledge, we are not talking about that kind of knowledge. That knowledge is not actually knowledge. That is a what you say, a skill. He had some skill sets to means increase his business setup. That is his managerial skill. That is not actually knowledge. Knowledge means knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge means knowledge of our own self. Knowledge of ultimate goal of life. That is called knowledge. So the knowledge which we are getting in our schools and colleges, that can help us to earn money. That can help us to run our business nicely, grow our business. Then that can help us to manage so many things. So manage our organization. But that knowledge is not sufficient for us to actually deal, especially with the mind, the problems of mind. So he had lack of knowledge, because if he would have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, he would have not committed suicide. Rather, even if he became depressed, he would have contacted a devotee, so that he can get practical understanding how to apply the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes it may happen that a person who is having the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, he may also get disturbed, but he will never commit suicide. Why? Because if a person is having the knowledge, proper knowledge, and when I say proper knowledge, that means knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So if a person is having the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, even if he sometimes is getting disturbed, why he gets disturbed? Although he has the knowledge, because he has just gotten the knowledge, he has just got the knowledge, but he is not able to practically apply it in his life. And the practical application of the knowledge, it requires little maturity, and it requires guidance, proper guidance from superiors. So because of lack of this, it may sometimes happen that a devotee also, who is just practicing, a person who has the knowledge, a devotee who is chanting also, he may also get disturbed. But because he has the knowledge, so he will approach a right person, a spiritual master, some senior authority who will guide him practically, so that he can come out of the knowledge. He can come out of the those problems. Okay, you got the answer, Sandeep? Yes. Anything?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Good.
No, if you
No.
if you have any question, you can ask any. Okay.
No, Guruji. बस इतना ही.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to ask? Yes, anyone else would like to ask any question? No? Okay. So we'll go ahead. So I'll share the screen and we'll chant our prayers. Then we'll start first verse, and I'll speak for 20 minutes only. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhanvitamsha Namahum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatadeshatarane Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratase Namaha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So before starting, I welcome everyone for today's discussion on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 1. So before starting, one more thing I would like to share with you, that I'm thinking once in a week, like every Sunday, we can have just one question answer session where you will be asking questions and I will be answering. And if some of you also, you can also means support, also your add your points also. So I think that will be more beneficial. And although every day after the discussion, we'll keep some 10 minutes, 15 minutes for questions and answers. In this question and answer session, which we will be taking every Sunday, entire session, just question, answer, and discussion. So that will give you also opportunity to speak and share your thoughts, ask the questions. So in this session, you can ask your own questions, and you can ask those questions who are asked by some of your friends. Like suppose if you spoke with some of your friends, you tried to explain him about Bhagavad Gita, and he counteracted. Although although you accept Bhagavad Gita, but some or other you could not defeat him, some or other you could not give proper answer to him. So those questions also you can ask, just like Shivam today, he asked this question. One of his friend was asking like this, so how can we answer him? So this also you can do. So that will also give you sufficient strength and sufficient knowledge. Okay, is it okay? Is it a good idea? We can
Yes,
do
जी
this.
प्रभु जी.
Yes. Okay. So if I forget, you kindly
Yes.
remind me every Sunday. We will be doing this. Okay. So now in today's verse, this Sanjay, he is speaking. The last verse of the first chapter. So Hare Krishna. Okay, there was some internet connection problem. You are able to hear?
जी
जी
प्रभु
प्रभु
जी.
जी.
Okay. So last verse of the first chapter was also spoken by Sanjaya, where he spoke that Arjuna, after telling to Krishna that I'll not fight, he just sat down. He gave up his uh, bow, Gandiva bow, and he just sat down, lamenting very much. So in the next verse, now Sanjaya is speaking. What is the response of Krishna now? So Sanjay speaks, tam tatha kripyavistam asrupunnakulekshanam visedan visedantamidam vakyam vacha madhusudanah. Okay, some of you can read translation and purport. Yes, who would like to read?
I would like to.
Yes, you.
Translation. Seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. Purport. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted. Prabhuji, scroll down. Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate. Prabhuji, scroll down.
Yes, yes, I have already
Uh,
done.
dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Shri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So yes, here tam tatha kripiya vishtam. Seeing Arjuna kripiya vishtam, full of means lamentation. Asru purna kulekshana. He was also Asru purna kulekshana means his eyes filled with tears. He was crying also. Visidantam idam vakyam. To the lamenting Arjuna, Uvacha Madhusudana. Lord Madhusudana, he spoke. So now the next verse will be spoken by Krishna. So Sanjay is telling that Arjuna, who became full of compassion, but this compassion is being explained as material compassion. So although Arjuna, because he was a devotee, so naturally having a good qualities of devotee, he became compassionate. But this compassion was wrongly applied. Why this compassion was wrongly applied? Because of having this identification with the body, because of having lack of knowledge about the spirit self, the real self, because of putting himself in ignorance. So because of this, when one comes into this zone of ignorance, he forgets the real self and he identifies with the body. Then even though he is having the good qualities, a good intention, still what will be the result? Visidantam means lamentation. He will be put into distress, he will be put into lamentation. He'll come to the zone of lamentation. So simply our good intentions, our good all the good qualities are not sufficient for us to make us peaceful, happy, or even to others, to make them also peaceful and happy. Like many people, most of the people, they have very nice good intention for themselves. Almost everyone has wants good for himself. Nobody wants bad for himself. But some of them are having the good intention for others also. They are compassionate towards others also, and we hear so many examples like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and few of the great scientists also like Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton. They were having a good intention towards the society, and many great personalities, they came and they went away, but they were having good intentions. They wanted to do something good for the society, but because of most of them, because of lack of proper knowledge, although they were having good intention and everything good for the to do for the society, but still they could not do good for them. Why? You may ask this question. Let's take for example of Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi was such a great personality. He has so much good intention for the country. It's not that he wanted to enjoy the kingdom. He wanted to become the prime minister of India. He was not working for a throne. He was not working for this selfish desire that I'll make the India free from these Britishers, and then I'll rule the kingdom. I'll rule the India. I'll become the prime minister and president. No, he was not thinking like that. He was having a good intention. He was, especially his goals, few of his goals were very nice, like he wanted complete unity between Muslims and Hindus. That was his desire, and he wanted Vedic culture to be established all over India, especially cow protection and agriculture. And that is why he started also this Swaraj movement. What is the meaning of Swaraj movement? Meaning of Swaraj movement is that we should be dependent upon our own products. We should not be dependent upon the products of this European and Western countries. We should not be so much anxious to open so many factories and involve so many technologies. With simple our wheels and all these simple our Vedic technologies, Vedic ways, we can just simply live our life peacefully in the hands of Mother Nature without disturbing the natural sequences. That was his desire. Simple living, high thinking. He wanted this, that Indians should get freed from Britishers, and then simple living, thinking principles should be there in everyone's life. So this was the second desire he was having. But what happened? Although he was having good intention, everything was good, but everything became just opposite what he wanted. Even his own disciples, at the last time when Britishers they decided to leave India, even his own disciples, they went against him. He wanted this Hindus and Muslim unity, but it was separated. Muslim became the independent country, and he wanted all these Vedic culture to establish simple living, high thinking. But immediately after the independence, all the technological paraphernalia was brought to India, and even one of the politicians he commented that we don't in India now we don't require temples, we require toilets. So that was the statement of one of the politicians who was very close to Mahatma Gandhi. So all these things happened against the desire of Mahatma Gandhi. Why? Because his intention was good, but he was also reading Bhagavad Gita, but because he was not having a spiritual master, a guru, a bona fide spiritual master who can guide him, that is why he could not achieve much success. And here the same point is being explained. So this is also one kind of ignorance, and not having the knowledge about the self. The self is actually spirit soul. We are not these bodies. This body made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether is not actually our real self. And this is just introduced in the first verse, and gradually Lord Krishna, when he will start speaking, will very nicely and scientifically will discuss what is the scientific basis of existence of soul, and what are the benefits of knowledge of the soul, and how can we become self-realized, how can we truly understand the knowledge of the self and apply it in our life, so that we also not come into the zone of lamentation like Arjuna is coming here. So simply having the good intention is not sufficient. We require proper knowledge from a bona fide authority, from a spiritual master. We need guidance from our superiors who are expert, who have well practiced the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, or who are the devotees of the Lord. And this is explained by Lord Krishna himself. Although the Lord, he himself has become the spiritual master, guru of Arjuna, but still, while teaching the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, when he will be explaining about the transcendental knowledge, then he will tell Arjuna that if you want to learn this science of Bhagavad Gita, then you must approach a spiritual master. And what kind of a spiritual master? He is not telling that you approach a sadhu who is wearing a saffron cloth and who is having a very big beard and who is not eating anything, who is just drinking milk, not even milk. He is not telling like this. He is telling Arjuna, you approach a guru who is a Tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi means one who understands the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita very well, and one who has applied the science of Bhagavad Gita in his life, and one who is a devotee of the Lord. You approach such a person. He is a bona fide authorized person who can guide you in the matters of this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, we get clear indication how we can receive the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita properly. So Arjuna, unstable connection bata. से connected. आपसे ठीक है अभी ठीक है. So Arjuna, this lamentation is being shown by Arjuna because of lack of the knowledge of the self. So this point I was discussing. So just like this material, what is this material compassion? In the purport it is being explained. What is this material compassion which Arjuna is feeling over here? So like if a person who is drowning in some river, so if somebody goes to save him, a person who tries to save the person who is drowning in the river, so he is naturally, because he is having good intention, that is why he is diving into the river, risking his own life and trying to save that person. He is having the good intention. But if suppose if he instead of saving the person, he just saves his coat and shirt. He puts out his coat and brings the coat back and says that the person is saved. But the person is not saved. You just have brought back the shirt of that person. The person is still drowning because he was thinking this shirt is the person. So if somebody has this misconception that the coat or shirt is the person itself, because the coat and shirt looks like the person, so he just saves the coat and shirt, then the person will die. Similarly, a person who just has compassion for the body, that means who just wants to save the bodies of others by feeding them, by giving them money, by giving them place to stay, by giving them medical facilities, by giving them material education in schools and colleges, by sending them to schools and colleges. I'm not saying that one should not do these things. One can do these things, but if one simply does these things for a person, that is similar to the trying to save a drowning man, but saving just coat and shirt. That will not help the person. If you really want to save somebody, then we have to have the concern for the soul, compassion for the soul. And before having this compassion, true compassion, we also first of all have to come out of the zone of ignorance. We have to have proper knowledge what is the soul. Because even if you feed a person for entire of his life, even if you give all clothing, all shelter, everything, but the ultimately body is destined to die. Nobody can protect his own body permanently. Nobody can protect others' body permanently. The body is sure to die, and this will be explained in the Gita further. Lord Krishna will say, "Jatasya dhruvor mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya." That a person who has taken birth is sure to die, and a person who has died is sure to take birth again. So, what is the use of just trying to protect the body? I'm not saying that you don't protect the body. If the body is getting ill, disease, then we can take the medical facilities. There is no problem in it. But if we just only care for the body, that is a kind of foolishness, isn't it? Because the ultimately body will get destroyed. So intelligent person is one who also takes care about the soul, the spirit soul. By trying to understand, by trying to take the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, trying to understand the real situation of the soul, what is the real self, what is the soul, how it is connected with the Supreme Lord, because soul is permanent, the body is not the permanent thing. So then one can ultimately do benefit for his own self also and for others also. So this is one of the important point is being mentioned, that material compassion and lamentation are all the signs of ignorance of the real soul. And this by Sanjaya, when he is saying Uvacha Madhusudana, that Sanjaya is explaining the situation, the present situation of Arjuna to Dhritarashtra, that he is, because of lack of ignorance, he has come into the zone of lamentation, and even though he has become the compassionate towards others, but still he is feeling so much lamentation. So that is why many times when people ask why even good people they get suffered, why even good people they suffer in their life, why the such and such person, he was having so much good intention to do good for the society, still he he faced so much opposition, why he became unhappy, why he committed suicide. So this is the reason, that the good intention was there, but the knowledge was not there, the ignorance was there, the darkness. So this position is being explained by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra about Arjuna's position, and he is adding this fourth line, Uvacha Madhusudana. That means he is addressing Lord Krishna as Madhusudana. Now Madhusudana is going to speak, and this is very significant because Madhusudana means the killer of Madhu demon, and Madhu demon was one of the most powerful demon to whom Lord Krishna killed. So this Madhu is compared with this deep dark ignorance. So just like Lord Krishna, he killed this Madhu demon who was so powerful. Similarly, right now Arjuna is also captured by this Madhu demon of ignorance. So Sanjaya is as if Sanjaya is trying to say the Dhritarashtra that now Arjuna will take shelter of Krishna, will become disciple of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna will explain such a powerful knowledge about the real self, so that the Madhu demon of Arjuna's ignorance will be destroyed, and he will come out victorious. So in this way, this Madhusudana is very important. And if we also take shelter of Lord Krishna, he will also act like us. And for us also, this mind, this ignorance about the real self, and whatever shortcomings we have, this is like a Madhu demon. And Madhusudana is very expert in killing these kinds of demons. So when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we take the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, get connected to him, then automatically all these different kinds of demons representing Madhu will be killed by him, and will become powerful and victorious in our life. So in this way, these things are being discussed. And another point which has been discussed here, that one who does not know the real self and only cares for the outward dress is called a Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. And Arjuna was a Kshatriya. So a Kshatriya and a Brahmana is supposed to have proper knowledge. A Shudra, he only laments for outward dress. And at last, this realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive result and situated in the fixed conception of the real self. In the first chapter, we discussed about having attachments for material objects, and those attachments, because Arjuna is also having so much attachments for the material objects towards his relatives. That is why he is feeling so much lamentation and disturbances of the mind, depression. Like somebody asked this question, how can we overcome depression? So depression, the cause of depression is, we discussed, another cause of the depression is to have excessive attachment for anything material. And because of this only, the two reasons which I mentioned, means lamentation and hankering come. And because of lamentation and hankering, this depression come. Why lamentation and hankering come? Because of attachment. So this material attachment leads one towards a depression and lamentation. And if this material attachment can be overcome by the fixed conception of the real self, when one understands who is really, when one understands his real self and understands the purpose of the life, then automatically this attachment is destroyed, and then one can work, perform his duties without attachment in a detached spirit, and then there will be no cause of depression for him, even though the challenges, up and downs may come, like Shivam Pruyas, up and down comes in the life of devotees also. But because a devotee, he is free from the material attachments, because he has established himself in the true knowledge of the self. Because of this, he doesn't have any attachment for the things, even though the up and downs comes, but still he is not affected by those up and downs. So this is what for today's discussion. Tomorrow we'll proceed for the second verse. So if you have any questions regarding this, whatever we discussed, you may ask. Otherwise, we'll stop. Yes, any questions? No? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for attending today's class on Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare